Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
In case you're just tuning in, Jim Rutherford press conference today. A lot of news tidbits coming out of that. Originally, the press conference was supposed to focus on Tanner Pearson's health situation. Bottom line, Canucks can't say much because of Canadian privacy laws. A lot of people feel that the Canucks mishandled that situation. It is Monday. All of our guests today, as you know, we've had two guests previously today, are brought to you by Basant Motors, celebrating over 30 years in the business. Learn more at basantmotors.com. Gino Odjick leaves us over the weekend at the age of 52. His Canuck teammate for 6 seasons in the 90s, Cliff Ronning, is going to join us now. They went to the 94 Cup final together. Cliff, thanks for doing this, sir. I know you're busy. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I mean, It hit us hard yesterday. Probably one of the greatest alumni we've ever had. He touched so many lives, Indigenous kids, role model, that he could do it at the age of 15, starting to play hockey and do what he did. And, he was a true ultimate warrior and probably the best teammate I've ever had. And, you ask other players, they'll say the same thing. He always had your back, and that's what made him special.
You said something there that I had forgotten about Cliff. He was a late bloomer. He started the game late. What does that say about his character?
Yeah, I mean, and, I know everyone knows he was the ultimate fighter and protector, but he became a better player and actually started scoring beautiful goals. And, I remember he had a penalty shot one time, and I smile when I see it because the excitement when he scored was just so special. And, when you see the fans, he definitely, everyone was touched in a different way with Gino. I was fortunate enough to play with him, be a teammate, but even as a fan, like going to a game to watch the team, knowing that you have a guy that will do whatever he can to win, would bring a lunchbox to the rink and just give everything he had. I mean, how can you not like the guy? Simple as that.
Yeah, well, that team was full of players like that. Did he ever stand up for you? Did he ever drop the gloves in your defense, Cliff?
Well, I'm sure there's many times I took a beating, but I always knew he was there. And, I saw Marty McSorley. And what's funny about Gino Odjick is the first thing when I run into them, they go, "Hey, how's Gino doing?" And not just Marty McSorley, but everybody. You get on an elevator. "Hey, how's Gino doing?" Everyone cared about him, but he was the guy that broke the ice, even in conversations that just made it that much better. Breaking the ice with a total stranger, that Gino just made you feel warm and were able to talk to anybody. And then it was definitely a very special teammate and friend.
Cliff, talk about Gino and Pavel Bure. Everybody, I mean, how did they become friends, and how were they on and off the ice? Those two, you couldn't separate them.
No, I mean, I think what it was Gino felt a little bit, he's out of his element a bit, and saw, Pavel Bure barely speaking English, and they felt inseparable together. They went everywhere together. I was very fortunate. Jeff Courtnall was my roommate, so we spent a lot of time with Gino and Pavel, going for dinners and spending those special times together. But Pavel looked up to him and trusted him, coming from a country that there's not a lot of trust going on. That he trusted Gino Odjick right away, because Gino Odjick's word was his word, and it was very old school.
And Cliff, it wasn't just the players that loved him. The coaches and Pat Quinn used to talk about him and praise him all the time.
There's nobody more loved than Gino Odjick. We've lost a lot of great people. Obviously, Pat Quinn and Jack McElhargy was very similar. Everyone loved these guys. They're the first person to be talking to kids and reaching out to people. And, we host the Pat Quinn Classic. The first guy that I phone all the time to help give out trophies in Pat's name, Gino Odjick, is the first guy to step up to the plate to help out. And even this year, he was going to come and do it. I phoned him, I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't even know, but he was at the doctor's office getting bandages on his legs because they were swelling so bad. And he says, "Yeah, I can do it, but you guys are going to have to. I can't walk very far." And here's a guy that, right to the end, would do anything for Pat Quinn's name and the alumni for sure.
Yeah, for people who don't know, the Pat Quinn Classic, a real high-level minor hockey tournament in Burnaby, Cliff, your stomping grounds. For people who don't know, Cliff, what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm down in Phoenix right now. Believe it or not, it's raining, so it feels a little bit like Vancouver. I'm sure the sun's going to come out sooner than later, but, I'm an empty nester now. My kids are all over the map. So my daughter's going to school in Nashville and Belmont for music. Ty's out in Iowa, and Taryn is here. And Kristen's in Brooklyn. So we're kind of just enjoying spending time with our granddaughter.
You're not thinking of a coaching role or management role with the Canucks, are you, by any chance?
No, I know there's, I guess, some issues going on there right now, and not a fun place. I'm a diehard Canuck fan before I became a player, and I definitely feel for the fans. It's a tough time in the history of the Canucks, and someone like a Gino Odjick is kind of what they needed. Spirit. Gino became very spiritual, in the last 10 years of his life. And, it's something that a little bit of that spirit could make a big difference.
Yeah. Well said, Cliff. Thanks so much for this, my friend. Thanks so much. All the best.
He touched everyone. All right. Thank you.
You bet. Cliff Ronning spent 6 years as Gino's teammate with that great 90s group.